year. I had the privilege to be associated with the World of Hospitality General Managers Panel discussion over the last 3 years. In fact, actually, it was conceptualized. Um, and I'll tell you why. There are lots of chefs sitting here. I can see a lot of white coats. And you also saw the dominance of white coats, just a session before us. So, and this world of hospitality is all about, as you can see, about 200 plus stalls. And a lot of them are actually on kitchen, F&B, housekeeping. So, and then also there is a regular 3-day workshop by the Chefs Association for all the young chefs. So it was in a sense a chef-dominant exhibition. Like how the chefs have actually become a very dominant association in India, rightly so, we are very proud of it. But I was wondering when I retired, and in fact even when I was a general manager, as to why we don't have a general managers guild. There is no such thing as a GM's association or GM's, forum. So finally, of course, we managed it. Then I told the world of hospitality that at the end of the day, the buck stops at the general manager's table, not at the chef's table, in terms of profitability, in terms of guest satisfaction, whole lot of things. Chef is an integral part of the hotel scenario, and therefore we must have a panel discussion by practicing GMs. So that's how it started. So without much ado, we'll go ahead. First of all, I'm so happy that I'm still relevant. I've kept myself that way. Because see, once you are a general manager of a hotel, which I managed to become at a relatively young age, it was a different feeling altogether, right? From a head of department, even if you become a resident manager hotel operations, it doesn't matter. The moment you have this title called General Manager of the hotel, GM, it's an altogether different world. So, therefore, to have these GMs who actually virtually run the operations of any business hospitality company, it's a privilege to have all of you here. Thank you so much. Some of them are vice president, very senior GMs here. So I would request each one of them to introduce themselves before we go ahead with the panel discussions. So maybe start with the lady on my left.
Hello everyone, my name is Kadamri Sabarwal Talwar, and a lot of people call me CADS, that just might be easier. I am the Gen Manager at the Courtyard by Marriott, Bengaluru, Hebbal.
Thank you, Kadamri. And by the way, she's the second time or third time? Second time here, so this is a repeat appearance. Thank you so much for being here. Go ahead, Jaydev. No, 1 second, there's another lady here.
Yeah.
These days, the left is preferred and not the right.
Yes, I would like to, have it changed, but maybe in some time. My name is Sangeeta. I am so I'm Sangeeta. I'm the general manager for Lemon Tree Premier Al Sur, and new to the city, but very happy to be part of the panel. And a lot of them are my, ideals that I've always admired, and it's a dream come true to be with them today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. See, the presence of ladies in any panel discussions in India reflects how far we have grown, how far India is actually sort of connected to the contemporary world where we are talking about gender equality. So actually, before I go to the gentlemen, let me request all of you to give these two ladies a big hand. And also those who are in the audience. All right, Jaydev, go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. This is my third session with Mr. Mohankumar here. And Mr. Mohankumar, you're a legend, and we are here because of you. My name is Jaydev Datta. I am the General Manager of Holiday in Bengaluru Racecourse, and I'm glad to be here for the third time. Thank you.
Hi. Good evening. I'm Saravanan. I head operations for South, all hotels with Royal Orchid brand. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarvanan, and thank you, Jaydev. He mentioned about the third sessions. He did not mention about the grueling session he had when I was CEO, I think. And he was the F&B director.
Yes,
right?
sir.
But he did a brilliant job.
Hi, my name is Manish Garg. I am the general manager at the twin branded hotels of Hilton and Hilton Garden Inn at Manyata, and it's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish. I want to have a special word for Manish. He's a senior hospitality leader here in Bangalore. He runs an extremely successful large property, Hilton. And so nice of you to have come in here. You know, your presence here makes a lot of difference. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Gaurav. I head the Hotel Royal Orchid here in Bangalore. And Mr. Mohankumar used to be my general manager more than 20 years back. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to be here, sir.
Thank you, Gaurav. Welcome back. Nice to see you as a GM now.
Greetings everyone, I am Vivek. I head the Marriott Whitefield. It's a 520 keys hotel. We opened in 2013 and that was the first Marriott hotel which opened in Bengaluru. 12 years later, we are 17 trading hotels and 4 in pipeline. Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivek. He is no stranger to any of you here. And so, just a little banter. He represents a brand called the Marriott's, of course, the largest in the world. But in India, there's a cat and mouse game that's going on between my previous company, Taj, and the Marriott's. It's a very healthy competition. So we're just sort of joking today. Who will actually capture the rest 25 lakh hotels that are there in the independent family segment? So wish you all the best, Vivek.
Thank you, sir. You're retired, so we have a head start. Otherwise, would have been tough.
Thank you. So today's... oh, sorry.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is JP Menon. I'm the Vice President of St. Mark's Hotel, Bangalore, which is soon going to become a Radisson. It is going to be a member of Radisson Individuals from 1st July. My second innings with St. Mark's Hotel, I've had a long stint with St. Mark's Hotel in the past, and then I went on to be part of the Marriott and spent about 8 years with them and just got back to Bangalore just a couple of months back. Delighted to be here, and you know, on the way to the venue, I asked Siri actually, you know, AI is the theme, so Siri, what to expect at the panel, and Siri did say, please expect a delay. Thank you.
So JP, as he's called, JP Menon, he's a veteran. And you know, when I met him first while in Bangalore, and I was in the Taj in Bangalore, I was very impressed with him. Because we always are impressed with not just the GMs, good-looking GMs, but well-groomed GMs. So I was wondering, you know, a very well-groomed GM in India is always somebody who would have had some Oberoi touch. So then he said, yes, I was with the Oberois, you know, for some time. So just want to compliment him. Since then, he has been a very close friend of mine, and we are together in the Scout Club. So thank you, JP. I'm sorry I missed you out. Though you're sitting in the chairman's chair. Okay, we go straight ahead. It's all about technology. It is now 2025. We say that we are becoming a superpower, but superpower means soft power. Soft power. So soft power is all about technology. Soft power is all about human resources, soft touch in the world. How do we make India, how do we make our country, you know, dominant in the knowledge world? That's perhaps where we have a huge chance to becoming one of the most powerful nations in the world, in the fields, in the space of knowledge, in the space of skills, and not necessarily in any other space which are violent or aggressive. So taking a cue from that, the hospitality industry, which was in a sense spared, you know, when 1991 or 92, when India opened up, liberalization, the one industry that actually pleaded with the government that not to bring in not to disinvest or not to open up our investments for the foreign global brands. Till then, there were no global brands coming into India except for some tie-ups with the existing brands. Because this sector was still very nascent. You know, we were still sort of fledgling. So it took a while before the big guys came in from overseas. So once they are here, today India is an international market. It's no longer India and the rest of the world. We are very much integrated to the global market. As you can see, a majority of them are actually representing global brands. So in a sense, India has actually reached that stage where we talk about what do we contribute to the growth of hospitality, leadership, management in India, as much as how do we actually generate all of them here as global managers. Because today, general managers and CEOs and MDs anywhere in the world are not necessarily anchored to one particular brand. They're transient. They actually go on an assignment, maybe for a year, for a contract term. So we are slowly emerging to that level where we are not dependent on a particular organization as such. We are professionals who work for an organization, who work for a brand, and then move on to another brand. So today you could be in a Marriott, and tomorrow you could be in an Indian Hotels company. So in that sense, there is a lot of progress and integration that has happened in India, which is good for all of you, the future GMs. So in this context, the one that actually probably must be keeping all of them, giving them all of them sleepless nights, apart from all the other long hours they do, is about the invasion of technology. The challenges of AI, automation, and of course, machine learning, smart machines, you know, IoT in that sense. Thank God in the sense I am not the present generation, because these people are facing a lot of pressure from the corporate head office, corporate office leadership. You know, how do we transit from the conventional operation in the hotels to what is happening in the US or what is happening in Europe? You know, how fast can we actually get on to that level where the staff ratio, that's how it is measured, it comes down to 1:1, 1:0.25, you know, those kind of things, 1:2, right? You know, Priya, Ritu, when we were taking over the general manager in Taj Westin, we were 117 rooms and 450 staff. So it's come a long way. So we are going to talk about that. So I've already prepared a few questions. They all are familiar with the questions. The first question is, it's an open question. Any of you can start off. Is 2025 scenario, AI and automation and smart gadgets, which are there here in this exhibition, all are designed to enhance human performance. See, in a country where we have millions of people looking for a job in the hotel industry, this is a very respectful word to use. Enhance human performance and not replace. Okay, so because the moment you do that, there'll be a lot of countermeasures and threats and, you know, a whole lot of it will become counterproductive. So enhance and elevate human performance all around, right? So that's the point. That's the opening salvo. So I'll just leave the field open. Whoever wants to go ahead, please take it. Did I complete the question? To enhance human performance and now deployed at varying degrees in every hotel or resort in India today. The question is, what are the implications of embracing these concepts into a live hotel operations, and how do you perceive their role? She's a veteran, so she's starting.
I'm going to attempt that. I think personally, I feel that hospitality is still a world where we need humans and we have people interacting with people. And I think it's more on the human touch. However, I have to say that today, in terms of the AI world and in terms of automation, we've all embraced it at different fields, at different levels. To me, it's more of an enabler, and like Mr. Mohan said, it's more about bringing out the productive piece in any human. It's about enhancing what we already have. I think at all levels, we've got different technology that every organization has really embodied. So for example, at the Marriott, and I know Vivek will talk about it as well, we've got many different applications that we've now put together to take out the mundane work, to free up the people from what they were doing over and over again, and also go ahead and meet with the customers, personalize the stays, and really make it memorable for them. At the end of the day, whatever we do measure it in terms of the stakeholders, whether it's the ownership, whether it's the customers, or whether it's actually, the associates and the people who work, right? So how can we really make it more valuable? And I think technology is doing that for us. So without taking more time, I just want to put in a few things that Marriott's doing. Marriott has actually automated a lot of the data analysis. And what that helps to do is it helps to give us more relevant and up-to-date information that helps us to look at trends ahead. So in terms of marketing, revenue management, sales, there is data at the tip of your hands. Even when a guest comes in, we have processes and systems and automation that helps us tell us what really is the personalized touch that we should give to the guest. So there are a whole lot of these things that have come in, right? And I'm sure the rest of them will explain what the other companies are doing as well.
Thank you, Karam.
Maybe I'll add to what Kat just mentioned. We have Bonvoy bots which engage with guests. They help to personalize their stay. They also answer their queries. We have predictive maintenance, also prompted by AI tools. The most important element that I think Marriott probably does, if I could say better, is our revenue management. We have a tool called One Yield. It's a web-based architecture. You can train and you can control it from a distance. The same tool can be used for a full-service hotel and a select service hotel. The algorithms are so sharp, they are nimble-footed, they take split decisions to give that edge to Marriott as a company in terms of optimizing the revenues. And Marriott is a tech-forward company. We are investing a lot in terms of reservations, PMS. We have 230 million Bonvoy members, so we already have the data with us. It's how do you use the data to actually move forward. And AI is already with us, the kind of music you wish to listen to, the kind of movies that your favorite streaming service tells you, smart homes, smart cars. So we're already living the AI life. And our customers are actually a step ahead. So it's extremely important to kind of embrace this change. And what people say, it's going to be biggest, in fact, probably bigger than internet as well. So that way, I think all of us, all the brands that are seated here are working very strongly, focused, and also helping the team of today to deliver more. And we also have to offer, because even the youngsters who are joining our companies are using it in their personal lives. So we can't slow them down. They have to come and join the hotel industry with the same pace and the same exposure to tools that they have been using for the past few years. Thank you.
Mr. Mohankumar? So let me add on to what both of them have said. I think AI is a great thing which is happening across all industries, and our industry is no exception. The way I see AI is having a very relevant role in three different areas. The guest experience, where AI plays a great role in terms of chatbots. They mentioned every company has a chatbot through their apps in various ways. Probably we are going into an era of high degree of customization. If I need to put it, hyper customization. You can choose your room configuration. That's going to happen. Apart from customizing various things at the hotel, then probably AI is having a great deal to play in distribution and revenue management. Every company has a tool. Marriott has a tool. So has my company. We are all tech-enabled large global companies. So, and the data becomes accurate, the data is absolutely, decisions are split second, it works fabulously across all geographies. And one more area where AI is a great enabler is sustainable management. You know, we always had, we have had BMS 10 years back in the hotel, so BMS is nothing but AI. It's getting better. You know, and sustainability is such a key business factor in all of our way of lives. Operational efficiency, AI is driving operational efficiency to a great deal. You know, I mean, we spoke about manning ratios. I can tell about my hotel. Pre-COVID, we were at about 1.1 manning ratio. Today, we're at 0.75. We have improved. We have learned to become better. We have learned to become more efficient. Tools have become better, I think, and it's going to get better and better. It's not that the jobs are getting taken away. We talk about, you know, I mean, there's a lot of talk about manpower crunch. I think AI is going to address that, right? Lot of things will be mundane, basic jobs should be taken over by AI, robotics. I would say that things like all of us do in our hotels. A lot of manpower is involved in delivering services where there is no revenue generation. Let's say delivering housekeeping supplies, extra water bottles, extra toiletries. It can be done by robotics. We just need to configure the robot, should talk to the elevator. I'm trying that in my hotel. I have a bit of a challenge with robotics talking with the elevator. We can fix that, right? Manish was talking about in India, we can't do it. Even if we wish, we can't do Digi Yatra in our hotels, right? But eventually it's going to happen. It's going to happen sometime. So AI will become a great enabler. And yeah, I guess it's going to get better and better. It will make us, all of us, more efficient.
Thank you. I'm very tempted to ask this question. For the rest of them also you can answer. Would AI eventually take over the role of the GM? Manish.
Will AI take over the role of the GM? Well, they will resign the next day because the job is not easy. Be rest assured of it. If all of us are sitting here, there is a certain strength we all have. That's why we are sitting here. If AI takes over the GM's role, please be rest assured the GM turnover will be very high. So, I have a teenager son, okay, and I can assure you, we all hotel companies are doing something with AI, something with technology, something with guests. We all love to think we are doing a great job, but seeing my son, I can assure you, we are 10 years behind than the current generation is. So, if I look at Meta, if I look at how he uses the data, how he does social media, how he does whatever he does, and half the things I don't understand, let me be very frank about it. We hotel chains are good 10 to 15 years behind where the customer is sitting. And while we all like to think we are doing great, but I can assure you, working in this industry, and I worked in Hilton, I worked in Marriott, I see a lot of things happening, and all of us are in the same thing. You know, there's not much difference between the technology that all the hotel company uses, but the fact of the matter is the customer is 15 years ahead of us, and we are trying to catch up. And we are even trying to catch up with the current generation that comes to work in the hotel. I just feel that it's a catch-up game that we will continue to play because we in the industry have not invested enough in the last 30 years where the rest of the social media has and the rest of the industries have. So, yeah, there's a lot of technology coming in. Will it ever take over the human beings? No, it won't. It's still a very labor-intensive industry. It will remain. As much as you and I want to Digi Yatra, yes, I said that Digi Yatra should be there for a guest check-in, but I don't think so person will be happy to stand in front of a screen and check in and not have a human touch. Not at least in India. We still want somebody to complain to. We still want to tell somebody my breakfast was late by 15 minutes, my egg was half overcooked. pod will not listen to all that, right? So till the time those emotions are there in India, our jobs are still there. And I don't know after that. We'll see.
With Mr. Mohankumar's permission, while we are talking about AI, might want to go back maybe about a quarter century. Yeah, may I? All right. So this is about the evolution of of course how AI has now come into the forefront at the moment. I still remember in the early 2000s we had no. I mean, it was sort of an advent of almost emails or websites and things like that. So somebody had to choose a hotel. They actually had to either know the hotel's website and then maybe look for it. Google maybe was not as popular at that time. And I remember the first TripAdvisor. When I heard about TripAdvisor. So there was a guest who checked into the hotel. This is most probably 2002. And I still remember the guest name. His name was Darren Price. He said, I read fantastic reviews about your hotel. That's why I chose your hotel. I said, really? Where did you see it? Because we had no clue what TripAdvisor at that time. So that was when I heard about TripAdvisor. And then the gentleman had a great stay with us. So we of course also looked at and we said, oh, we are being written about very well about us on TripAdvisor. Then he went back and wrote a review for the hotel. And he said, actually I still remember that as well. I hate to write this review because this is a hidden gem. If I make it very popular, when I come back next time, I might not get a room in this hotel. So that is that story, about TripAdvisor. And proud to say that we went on to become number 1, number 2 for a very, very long time in Bangalore, maybe for 12, 14 years. And then now, of course, there is TripAdvisor. And there is everybody else for sure. And then now TripAdvisor, AI actually gives you finally a glimpse about what the whole world has talked about. So you don't actually have to look at all the reviews, but it will tell you what the whole gist of this particular hotel is. So AI is evolving, and now it of course supports all of us in how to enhance the guest experience in the hotel. It tells a lot about what can be done. We get to know the preferences much better. We get to know the guest much better if he or she arrives at the hotel, and then deliver services sort of tailor-made to the guest. So AI is evolving. It is continuing to be continues to evolve. I'm sure we will get much more out of it going forward as well.
Just to answer the question,
That's Gaurav.
I think AI is going to take over the process.
Not audible.
The AI is going to take over the process, but humans will still be the curator for the experiences. And I can give a lot of examples of what we are doing here at Hotel Royal Orchid. So we have this lovely, very fancy robotic braising and tilting pan that we have installed in our buffets, where the guest could actually program the food that he wants to make. We are also doing renovation of our rooms, which will also be in our suite rooms. But just to give you an example across different industries that I've been with, so I used to work with Google for some time, and food sustainability and food wastage was such a big thing. We had partnered with LeanPath. It's an amazing software which actually helps you to reduce the food wastage. It has a very fancy camera which is installed on top of a weighing scale. So you not only get to see the food which is being wasted in terms of kgs, but also in terms of what is the type, what is the nomenclature of the food. And then it throws up reports as to what food is being wasted in different kitchens on a daily basis across grocery items, meat, fish, poultry, and that will help the chef to plan his production. Again, one more example, I think, which all of us, are, experiencing in our day-to-day life is Netflix. The kind of, the recommendations that it throws up, it really enhances the user experience. I mean, like I was reading this report that the user experience has gone up by 20%, because it recognizes what you really want to watch, and it throws up, based on your liking. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. We are running out of time as always. We have another half an hour to go. So let's sort of do a rapid fire. Maybe the two of you, on one from the left and one from the right, can pick up this question. Whoever wants to. It's about, okay, if this is inevitable, and I thank you, Manish. You are more or less kind of voiced, someone like me who's a veteran, that there has to be a balance between technology and human touch. I think it's so important. You know, you can have a low-touch technology and a high-touch human, because India, at the end of the day, is an exceptional country. It's unique in its own nature. We pride ourselves to be a country that actually can Vishwaguru or whatever they call, global benchmark for hospitality in terms of our warmth, our tradition, and all that. So I think we must leverage that. So in a sense, I agree with you in that point. But however, it's inevitable. If you ask the Gen X and Gen Y, including my two daughters, they'll say, well, thank you, but we are going ahead. So it's inevitable. So if it is, what do you think is the investment quantum? You know, when you're doing the capex or the opex, quantum and pattern, timeline, what would be the outcomes? You see, if you do any budget, if you need to ask any opex or capital from your bosses, today they're going to ask you about your ROI, they're going to ask you about your payback. You know, nobody asks the investor, the owner asks the brand, what about my ROI? But that question gets easily evaded by the top guys. But when it comes to the general manager, they will not give a single pie unless you prove that there's a payback period and there's an ROI. So would you like to ask this, take up this question?
With regard to this capex, what I can spell it out what is happening with Royal Orchid Hotels is we have now measured around 8 to 10% capex investment in technology, because that's going to be a differentiator, and it will also help us the way we are growing. Right now we are around 130 hotels, and next 6 months we are opening another 22 hotels. So this will help us out. In terms of unit, we are pushing from this year 2% of the capex into technology, because this is going to help us out, and whether it's going to help us out from the guest perspective, but it's going to help us out in the staff perspective. Because staff is also used to a lot of technologies around in his life, and he doesn't want to get into an STP plan to check whether it's working or not. So we need to put in an IoT sensor there to make him happy and come for the work, because otherwise STP operator is the last one which nobody bothers in a hotel. So that is some area which we are looking at it. And yes, BMS was an old style which building used to have. Now where we are marching in is sentimental analysis and reputation management. These are the two areas we are investing to fight with all the big wigs of the industry of international brands. We are a made in India, and so to fight with them, we need to have our net promoter score up. So we are using technology and we are investing technology. I mean, these areas somewhere we are investing. And yes, 9% for the brand and 2% for the hotels.
Sorry, did you lose the chance to speak on the first round?
No, sir.
You spoke, no?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't. So, you know, it's like, I don't know whether I'm going to be an Arnab, which I don't want to be ever in my life. But Rajiv said this.
No, I think everyone spoke about it, so it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
May I give an example of an OPEX but helping as an CAPEX? So we have JW Marriott Sahar, one of our largest hotels. We serve around 700 guests for breakfast, and they have taken 3 robots at 25,000 rupees per month only. The load factor for that robo is 45 kgs, and the route has been mapped. They have cameras, they have sensors. So what the station holder does, he keeps the soiled cutlery, flatware, crockery, and presses the button. The robo goes all the way to the dishwash and gets back the clean tablewares. So the benefit is that the station holder or the busboy does not leave the restaurant. That much enhances the service levels. Otherwise, what used to happen, we all have been there, at least 5 minutes inside, 10 minutes to get it back. That's one. Second, Moxie Bangalore. You know, it's completely cashless from 1st November 2024. Not much of investment, I think just a culture change. The benefits, I mean, compliance, security, rationalized manpower, convenience, and a brand statement. So these are things that most of the hotel chains are doing actually, and I'm very happy to know that 9% has been actually kept aside for a technological advancement in your, very, very good.
Thank you, Vivek. We'll go ahead unless you have some point. Yeah, go ahead.
So the hotels are changing. Earlier, there were individual investors who were investing in the hotels. Now you will find public money coming into hotels a lot. A lot of, you'll hear about a lot of IPOs being coming through, REITs being formed. Taj is one of the biggest companies today, which is a public
Leela
listed
Palace.
company.
Leela Palace.
Leela has just become public. So with that, obviously, nobody's money is public money. You know, at the end of the day, every single capex we spend is public money we are spending in. So yes, there has to be an ROI. ROI is at what percentage is up for discussion, but yeah, either you put money on, and that there's no getting away from that. That ROI has to be there, because at every stage we are playing with public funds. We are not playing with individual money. So ROI has to be there to answer. It is a must. Otherwise, there is no merit to put a money to invest. But the quantum of the ROI can be looked at.
Mohankumar,
Thank you, Manish. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I mean, tech does not come cheap or less expensive. There's a substantial investment from the owners, investors, public money, whatever you call it. But the way the world works, all the major brands or Indian brands, they come with a certain, we call it the HMA or the package, where tech is, taken into account. The issue happens when you as an operator or a GM go back to the investor saying that I want this, I want that. So initially when you open a hotel, first 5 years are taken care of. Probably the challenge happens when you replace some devices or you add on some other investments in terms of technology. But I mean, as he has put, the owners are getting smarter. I mean, we have a lot of owners in India who operate with multiple hotel operators. Probably a single company has got assets with different brands. They are matured. They have been owning hotels for about 8, 9, 10 years. So they also understand the investments in technology and the ROI part of it. But yes, everybody needs an ROI, and that's essential. If you're able to justify, there is people are willing to invest. I mean, in our hotel, which is about a 7-year-old asset, our owners are, again, they're very matured owners. They operate with multiple operators. So we could spend substantial amount in upgrading our Wi-Fi devices, a heavy investment. But yes, if there is, it is needed. If owners are able, we are able to convince the owners, more than that, owners are doing it, more than that.
Thank you, Jaydev. Yeah. Sankita, you wanted to say something?
Yes, just to add on, I mean, we have spoken about all the big brands here, but yes, so at Lemon Tree, we have also invested big in terms of technology upgradation. In fact, we had, consulted with BCG, and now we have our own company which works on developing, dashboards for us. And the investment, if we talk about, this goes up to the tune of 100 crores, because we're looking at the group level, and we are already 114, hotels company, and plus another 50 to 60 hotels will be adding on this year. So we do understand and acknowledge the role of technology today. We are not, I would say, because I have worked with other brands as well, but we are still not, if I have to say, we do not have express check-ins or, mobile key activated yet, but we are just getting there. And we are starting it with our data analysis, because we really want to get efficient there first. The company has really grown very, very fast. So I think just 2 key takeaways for us is speed and efficiency, which the company is looking at. And I was actually surprised to hear the manpower ratio for Holiday Inn or, the group at 0.75%, because I thought we were the only leaders, dealing into that ratio. And I was like, okay, now it's going to further go down, like from 0.7 to maybe 0.5, because the efficiency comes in. So it's definitely going to be more pressurizing, and, it's just going to keep us on toes furthermore, I guess. But it is, I think, the way forward. And there's a lot of learning that maybe at our generation we have to do to accept it better and utilize it fully.
Thank you, Sangeeta. We are almost at the end of almost over with the first half, or maybe even the 1/3, sorry, 3/4. There is still a lot more to discuss. So the next one is actually going to be on human resources. See, the points ahead of us that we are going to discuss here are one on people, human resources. Then I've also suggested that there are a lot of these, businessmen who have invested a lot of money putting up their stalls here, and therefore I asked the general managers, what is a pain point? What are the kind of things that I wish I had that gadget, or I wish I had that particular tool for my boys, housekeeping or F&B or bartender, so that I don't have to import and I can get it in India, right? And also the fact that they say that the best innovation comes from the person who is at the end user, the where the shoe pinches. Whatever you make, there's always a gap between expectation and whatever you deliver, right? So we will go into that round too. But the next question is for all of you, and if you could kindly keep it very brief. Some of you have to go back for some meetings. I know it was been delayed, so please bear with us. Next question is all about, with the advent of rapidly developing innovative technology, what would be the redefined role of humans? There are these categories called A category. A category is top performers. Then there's the B category, who the management thinks or the leadership thinks have the potential, but they are not at there. But they are trainable. And then you have the C category. You don't know what to do with them. In Indian law, you can't do much, but some or the other, you'll park them somewhere. So if that is so what is the kind of category that you want? What is this new, modern, contemporary, smart staff, associate that you envisage in your hotel as a vital resource to run the operations, who is smart enough to understand all the gadgets and technology, and is also smart enough to work independently. So the time from recruitment to actual deployment to the live station is the shortest cycle. Next question, I'll combine it. Are there real examples of key roles? If each one of you can come up with some small story on some specific examples in your day-to-day life at the hotel, examples of key roles and high-performance associates being redeployed. That's the biggest threat now, being redeployed. Post any reskilling or identified for upskilling. For instance, we no longer need floor housekeepers. We no longer need, there are different levels of hierarchy that are there in the Department of Housekeeping, or even food production, F&B. So what do you do with those people who have done well, who have been with you, loyal? So therefore, what is your plan in terms of reskilling or upskilling? And one more thing, it's not just reskilling and upskilling alone. It's also reorientation of the mindset. Unless that attitude, unless they feel, if I am told by my management, even when I'm actually, let's say, vice president of the organization, I say, listen, there is in my chat with my MD, he says, you have to go, Mohan, for a reskilling. So the first feeling is that, am I becoming redundant? Right, so how do you actually communicate to an employee who's high performer, but he has to reskill, he has to upskill, and he has to change his mindset? All of it.
Okay, I'm going to try and keep it brief, though this is very, very vast. But I think I will take a couple of functions. So a lot of times in finance, you've got different streams within the same discipline, right? You've got an accounts payable, you've got a receivable, you've got somebody who's doing the checks, everything. So in our company, we've automated a couple of them. So what happens is, once you've automated it, you are automatically taking away the redundant jobs or the repetitive jobs. Also, for the ones who are there, we are upskilling and making sure that people end up multitasking. So today, where we are dependent on 6 people, maybe we can be dependent on 5 people, and we utilize the sixth one to do something a little bit more meaningful and a little bit more productive. So to give an example, in terms of housekeeping, you always have a division between public spaces as well as rooms, right? And you have attendants for each one of them. The question that we are asking, and we are trying to not take away completely, is can the attendant do both the roles, right? Can we multitask the attendants over there? Similarly, in food and beverage, you have a lot of people who do only banquets or only who do one restaurant, specialty restaurant, coffee shop. The question being asked at this point in time within the company, which we're successfully deploying, is can we actually have a person as an F&B associate or an F&B manager or an F&B executive who can be skilled up to play all of these roles, right? And today, if you don't have manning in banquets, you can actually go into, you can redeploy into a restaurant or vice versa and things like that. So there are a lot of functions that can be cross-functionalized, and that is something that we are looking at to do away with the mundane, to upskill, and to make it a little bit more meaningful.
I know it's a very long question, but I can shorten it and do it. A live example with our company is a month back, we upskilled all our corporate top 20 people in AI and ML. We paid quite a lot of money and we upskilled ourselves. Second, what we are looking at is we are looking at getting in more qualified IT managers. Previously, they were just an IT assistant to help the Wi-Fi. But now we are bringing in little tech guys into the system who can help and understand things. The next set of training, what we are going to get into it, the associates, whom we are, because we are also inducting a voice agents in our website and in our 24/7 call centers. So once a voice agent comes, so my downline people should understand. So we are not replacing anybody, but we are trying to upskill in all levels. So to understand this upskilling, first we upskill ourselves first, because sometimes what happens is changes don't come from the top. That includes our promoters, family, the chairman, president, everybody got upskilled with the technology, so that when innovators come and speak to us, we also understand that. So our group is in the form of upskilling people and reinventing technology, how we, previously it was a back office. Now we are trying to bring them as a front runners, like a front office manager. We have some names also coined for them. We are looking at as chief innovators and prompt associates, because that is what is going to help us out to go forward.
I'll just, I'd like to dwell onto a very important aspect of our business. I mean, technology is great, but at the end of the day, we are an industry which is served by people for the people. So we spoke about 0.75 manning ratio. So we were about 1.1, and we did certain things to make this level of 0.75. We must, one thing which is very, very critical for our industry is well-being of people. We all face, maybe older Indian brands have got better attrition ratios, but we have got very high attrition. I'm sure all of us face that. So we work with relatively young people, very young people, freshers. The workforce comes from Pan-India and Bangalore. Well-being is crucial. Some things which we did in our hotel, we had a huge challenge when business started coming back. 2022, quarter 2, the people had lost confidence. They didn't want to come back to Bangalore because essentially the city has workforce from across the country. Very few people are local. So getting them back was a challenge. And then where we operate in the heart of the city, in Bangalore, people have to pay heavy 6 months advance for our accommodation. So usually in our hotel, we had accommodation only for lady associates. We made it a point to offer accommodation even to male associates. We started paying, all of us are data of minimum, maximum wages. We made it a point that our wages are the best in our class, probably higher than the industry averages. well-being is not about, it's not just a feeling, it's about mental well-being, physical well-being, financial well-being. And let us face the fact that our industry was underpaid. Things have changed post-COVID, but there's a lot of headspace there. At the end of the day, we need to pay our people well or make provisions for them to get paid well. At our hotel, we have a lot of incentive schemes. A smart associate can make various incentives through upselling, certain guest feedbacks, certain way of doing things. So that also has with retention. But today's retention is about 1 year. I hire an associate, I'm happy that he or she spends about 1 year. Beyond 1 year, they want redemption. What is there for me? That means associate is smart enough, they need a promotion, right? So we grow them internally within the system.
I would like to go next. Yeah. So, I would just like to keep it very, very brief and absolutely to the point. So, to answer the first question is, what is the pain point, at least for me and my hotel, is to raise the mundane purchase orders. So, if I could get some kind of a system that will help my purchase manager to know what is the inventory and auto-generate the purchase orders, that will help. To answer the second question is that what will the human do? I think the human of tomorrow would be the purveyor of the guest experiences. They will be the artists. They would be, working in terms of enhancing the guest experience at every step. And I think your third question was, sir?
What was my third question?
I
You
missed
had
that.
asked, there are three things. One is about the ratio, then about the upskilling, reskilling.
Upskilling, yes. So that's what I have done very, very recently, is that all these young workforce that we have, they are very, very, focused on the digital marketing. So I have moved 2 guys from my food and beverage team into the marketing team because they are so much, in tune with what's happening. They are very, very enthusiastic. So I think going forward, the human touch, the sales and marketing, all our sales managers going on, on the proactive calls will not stop. So perhaps we can free up these guys from the operations and move them to still maintain the human touch.
Thank you, Gaurav. That is brief. Yes. Go ahead, JP.
Quickly,
We are running out of time, so we're going to make it.
talk about the pain point, what we are talking about. This is a reference to one of our international chains in Bangalore who's attached to a mall. It is very close to a mall, and they had a biggest problem. They had a huge problem of people coming to the mall, parking their cars in the nice basement of the hotel and walking out, having a nice time, and then leaving after some time, spending no money at all. So this had actually become a big problem for them. So I was speaking to some vendor who actually came up with a great idea. They installed ANPR cameras. It's called automated number plate reader cameras, which could easily read every vehicle which comes into the basement or the parking slot, and also tell them how long is this vehicle staying there and where is the guest leading to or going to. Is he going into the hotel or is he going into the mall? So they were able to actually fix this to a great extent. So this was, I think, something which really helped. So I also asked this vendor, one more huge issue we hoteliers have is, we have big banquet halls, the banquet functions happen, people leave, then the AC is on for another 1 hour or 2 hours, which is a big guzzler of power. So I said, can you also use some technology, a heat detection system, cold detection system, which tells you that, we get an alert the moment the hall is empty, so that, the engineering is able to fix that immediately. I think it will help. Yeah, that's what.
Thank you, JP. I wish you could add one more audio warning to the camera before I hand over. Someone says in a parrot voice, "Sir, where are you going? Are you going to the hotel or to the mall shopping?"
So, I think so the biggest, in the last 10 years, one role that has changed completely in hotels is the role of the general manager. And the biggest upskilling required is for the general manager, okay? He needs to know revenue management, to HR laws, to finance laws, and if I missed out any other law, I'm sure there are 20 other laws. So the biggest upskilling that has to be done is for the general manager, and it needs to continue for the next few years or how many ever years, because that is one job that can go if he or she doesn't upskill. Let me be very honest with you. Rest of the jobs, you know, the children that are coming out today are so smart, are so intelligent, but you just need to tap their brains. And we have to change our mind frame, how we work with them to get the best out of them. So I think so a lot of training has to go for the GMs and for the senior people in the industry. The youth coming out, they are what they are and they will stay what they are.
Yeah, thank you, Manish. That is very well said. Yeah, go ahead.
Very brief. I think the introduction and adoption of AI in hotels has to start internally first, then move on to guests. So the staff has to be comfortable, they should know mistakes, they should learn from it, and the culture should be such that they are not penalized. I think that's what helps accepting any new thing. For example, a associate wants to know how many annual leaves are pending. So he gets the answer from the bot. Similarly, you know, going forward in terms of AI adoption in hotels, it's inevitable. I think one of the questions that you asked, inevitable. But to what extent? There should be a balance between technology and human touch. I think, you know, heartbeat cannot be replaced by algorithm. So, yeah.
I'm glad that a brand like the Marriott is thinking that way, you know, because it's an American brand, remember, and they have Indianized in terms of their sensibilities, emotional quotient, and all that stuff. So good. In India, that's a reality. And there are brilliant people. There are youngest country in the world and all that stuff. So is there anyone else left, Sangeeta? Yeah. So we'll go over to the next interesting. There are two more rounds. The final round is very interesting. So stay back for that final round of questions that I'm going to ask all these GMs, and they themselves will like it. But before that, I just want to leave it to each one of them to say in just 5 seconds or 10 seconds, which, if you have to go around these 200 stalls and question this guy, hey, listen, why have you not developed this particular gadget for me? What would be that particular one that is actually right now currently offering a pain point for you? Yeah, quickly. Anyone?
I think I already said that.
Go ahead.
Digi Yatra app to check in a hotel.
Just come again.
Like they have Digi Yatra app at the airport to check in a hotel. That will solve half of my life problem.
You heard that, no? It's a business offer for you. Yeah, go ahead.
Like the Uber driver rates me as a guest, I think I should also be able to rate the guest.
Good one. Did you all hear that? Yeah.
I hope it's not recorded.
You know, I'd love to have an automated room. When I say an automated room, we all have different versions. But can I please have one click of a button where I can see what all exists so that I can choose whether I want the curtains to move away, whether I want the AC to be at a certain temperature, or whether I want my favorite chick flick to come in, or whatever it might be. But can I just have one button to do all of this? I know there are prototypes that are already in there, but yeah, if we could.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know whether the solution is there or not. When the guest checks in, automatically his Wi-Fi is connected without him doing anything else. Any solution is there?
We have, I think, in Marriott we have. So you feed in any hotel of Marriott, you go across 9,000 hotels we have, it gets activated automatically.
How it works? Can you?
Bonvoy number.
Okay.
So you feed in, I mean, the tool takes in
So
your mobile
if he's not a Bonvoy member, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, you have to be a
Yeah,
Bonvoy member
I-
because we have the credentials. And secondly, that same phone should be there.
Okay.
Because those,
Okay.
you know, that's stored, the details are stored on the phone.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Let's see the final question. And I think it applies to all of us. This is the famous Narayana Murthy question. Do you want to work for 18 hours, 72 hours a week, or 6 hours a day? The question is, what do you think of work-life balance or culture? I don't think work-life balance the way the next generation thinks. And even now I work for 10 hours. versus, like I hope Manish will support me, culture of the brand, the culture of the brand expecting dedication, commitment, loyalty, and a voluntary inclination. I've worded it very tactfully. A voluntary inclination to accept the demands of the industry, including inducing few top performers to be passionate about the job. I hope I've communicated correctly instead of 12 hours. So this is the question. Is there a balance or simply accept the contemporary realities of Gen X, Y? How do you address the work pressure on senior associates due to high attrition being witnessed? I hope, sorry, Sarvana, the questions are three simple questions. So please go ahead.
So Marriott introduced Life on Time approximately 2 years ago, which states that any rank and file associate, if he or she does beyond 9 hours, the reporting manager has to request and he or she agrees to it, and then it is all maintained in a tool. We have in and out on biometric, it is tracked. So should an associate work an hour extra, a couple of hours extra, you get double the salary, or accumulation of certain hours, you get a day off. That's, I think, a revolutionary step in hotels. We all started approximately 2 decades ago. I could not even think of my boss coming to me and requesting me, okay, why don't you work another hour? That's one. Secondly, a similar kind of tool is being now studied for executives as well, and going up to GMs also. So if you wish to move to Marriott, do let us know.
I'm glad Mr. Mohankumar is asking this question. You know, I mean, we'll move 15 years back, and this gentleman sitting here, it's an honest, which happened. So at about midnight, 12:30, I'm about to leave my hotel. He gives me a call, and he said, "Where are you?" I said, "Mr. Mohankumar, I'm going to start my car. Can you go back to your office?" I said, "Yes, I can." So he was sitting in Mumbai in Four Seasons Air Lounge Bar, and he had some great ideas to share with me. Right, at 12:30 a.m. in the morning. I mean, I felt nice about it. Probably it was 2008, 9, Mr. Mohankumar, 9. But things have changed, I mean, we can't do it any longer. I do it, but I can't expect my team members to do it. I don't see the, evening sun. I don't do it. I mean, I feel slightly guilty if I see the evening sun, but things are changing. As a company, we work 5 days a week. We do 2 weekly offs. People love it. When I go to a college to interview somebody, they ask, what's my working hours are? So we have to be relevant. It's changing, and it's becoming more and more evident. A good work-life balance is a must in our industry also. Yes, 9 hours, shift 5 hours a day is something which is going to be very, very strongly followed all across.
So, this industry comes from the nature of the work that it has always been a very labor-intensive industry, and that's why I think so we're discussing this. But let me be very clear, if I step away from this industry, the same topic of discussion are there in IT industry, in every industry. So it is what we live with. But I think so one thing is there, that if you enjoy your job and if you can bring the passion to your job, then you're not counting the hours. But I don't think this industry is any different from any other industry that exists in the world. Everybody does whatever hours they do. We seem to make a big deal out of it of late, but that's how every industry is. And to answer your question, no, I don't want to join Marriott. And Marriott was still there when COVID came, and we know what happened then.
That's it. This is the war.
Sangeeta,
So, I'll just add, I think we have spoken everything on the topic, but it's not something which is happening right now, but I see this would be coming soon, where we will be much more flexible. I think in hotel industry so far, we have not adopted flexibility so much. So, there are currently break shifts or a particular straight shift, but I think in future, it would also come where we would have to perhaps, let our team members to pursue higher studies, so their time schedule might, we'll have to match. And I think it's not just long hours. What really, makes you interested in your work is the sense of belonging, the sense of, what you have learned really today. And I've seen in my own team, I work with across, I have very young team members and seniors. And if there is something which they find interesting, why are they doing that? They all stay back. In fact, I have to say, go home. And they're like, no, no, ma'am, let us first finish this, and then we'll go home. And I agree to Sir's point that it is across all industries. I would really like to hear which industry doesn't have long hours, or not long hours, or has a great work-life balance.
Thank you, Sangeeta.
And
Go ahead.
I can really answer that question, but I would like to start this from Mr. P K MK, who raised this question. And 20 years back, this gentleman used to start his day at 8 in the morning, checking my buffets, and then he used to still be around in the lobby until 10:30 or maybe 11. So, sir, if this comes from you, a lot of us GMs here, we know that you are an absolute epitome of the passion that drives our industry. Answering your question, so I did a stint with Google. Googlers are very, very straightforward. Being an IT, driven workplace, they are 5 days a week. And I had an absolute pleasure of working with them and enjoying the work-life balance. I used to work, last 3 years, I have never worked on the weekend. I hope Mr. Sarvan and my boss is listening. So, Monday to Friday, we used to shut shop at 4 p.m. and you have the weekends to yourself. My last 2 years were with education, which was again, yeah. But hotels, of course, is different. We are different. We are driven by passion. And I think as long as we all enjoy it, and we all are really enjoying our work, and that's the reason why we are here. But again, being an Indian homegrown hotel brand, it's a big challenge to face the bigwigs of the industry on this dais right now. Being a part of international brands as well, I know back in the days we used to have 6 days off in a month. At Royal Orchid, we don't have that, but what do we do to counter that is have an absolute immaculate succession planning to ensure that our number twos are there, and also we do a job rotation to ensure that the high pressure job positions do get a little bit of break every week. So out of 4 weeks in a month, 1 week he would do a job which is not so stressful, allowing the number two to step in. Thank you.
Wow, I think some great things, but I just want to add to, no, Manish, I'm not countering you, but I just want to add to what Sangeeta said. I think we're a little, we need to think a little ahead, Today there is a demand for flexible hours. Today there's a demand for really wanting to work from home. I think those are other things that really contribute to the life on time. We're so used to saying that. So, it's actually a mindset. What may work for you may not work for somebody else. The whole question, I think, should revolve around, and not your question, but the whole question should really revolve around, what do I want? Do I want it to be flexible hours? Do I want it to be long hours? Do I want it to be short hours? Or do I want to be a gig worker and give it that time only when I want to give it that time? So I think we're really moving forward with a very different mindset of the next generation that's coming in. It's up to them how they want to take it. But at the end of the day, for an organization, it's more about mindset and it's more about inclusivity. How do we get more women into the workforce? How do we get more specially abled people? How do we get more diversity in? I think that's the question to be asked. And really, like I said, it's more about the mindset.
Thank you. Yeah, so that was obviously, I'm glad that I sailed through it. Yeah, you want to say something?
I would like to share, I'll take just 2 minutes. The experience what we had, I had 6 months back, I traveled to Dubai, and Mr. Manish helped me to upgrade my room to a suite room. Then I went to Scotland, then I came back to London. Believe it, London, again I stayed at Hilton. Dubai, I stayed at Hilton. Scotland, there was no Hilton, but I was with WOCO, IAG Group. Nowhere they can match our industry, what we are experiencing hospitality in India. Okay? So I know this work life, whatever it is, I think as a genuine hotelier, if and believe it, India is expensive than all these destinations except London. India is more expensive, and we have a true value for the money. And what we serve, I think we are far, far ahead. Like what Mr. Manish said, we are behind 10 years in technology. We are far, far higher in empathy, handling a guest in India. So I would stick on with that. And I heard Mr. Gaurav's requirement of 6 days off because he's from Accor and Google, and we know when we recruited him, we have to change. We are changing, sir.
So I hope actually the Sarvana tribe and Manish's tribe also and Mohankumar's tribe may grow. Anyway, so I just want to take the last take. This is the final one, and we are concluding, and we'll throw open for a few questions. First of all, see, my take on this is Rahul Bhatnagar is a vice president of Hilton in Washington. He's my batchmate, and he's still, there's no retirement in the US, as you know, so he continues to work. So he says that the Americans, everything is benchmarked to the US. So they have taken legal, as you know, law to the extreme ridiculous levels. So that's what's going to happen all over the world. When you actually regulate it, everything gets regulated and nothing is actually on a passionate level, then everything gets regulated. In a regulation, what happens is every employee then questions, he forgets that, for example, he said, in the reception, they have 3 shifts, okay? And if a particular agent is talking to a guest, and the next person is, as you know, famously, they stand behind that line. You know, if the time is over, they just walk off. They just walk off. They don't care, right? But you know what happens to an employee? He or she is subjected to how long does it take to go to the loo. So everything is so regulated, so regimented, you know. So that's the kind of situation they are in. And it's happening, you know. And today, in fact, it's worse, he says. But there is a big change that's happening. See, my generation of guests have also now stopped going to the hotels, right? So you have a new generation of guests coming into your hotels in India, right? All of them, what we call the, what do you call yourself? Gen X or? Z, okay. No. You want that? No. Alpha. Okay, so alpha plus X plus Y plus Z, Z, all of them are very different, right? So today's guests probably will get adjusted to the fact that, you may have to wait or you may not. In fact, actually, today we are talking about unobtrusive service where you don't really need anybody to go around and ask questions to them. So even the whole environment is changing. The whole, the universe is changing. So in that universe, obviously, change is inevitable. It is bound to happen. But the point is, how do you actually manage this whole transition? Number one, how do you actually keep the veterans, the masters of the game, back into your fold? Because they are required to maintain the relationship. It's all about relationship. I know for a fact that Taj today, it is only chartered recently. Indian Hotels Company have started recalling and recontracting people who have retired in some key positions. Because, for example, in banquets or some tandoori cook or somebody like that. So I suppose actually we are going through a transition, and at some point when the generational change happens, I suppose it will actually go for a point of no return. So thank you so much, all of you, for your points, extremely valuable. I just want to say thank you. Please give them a big hand. The learning lessons are plenty from here, but I like one of the things that I wish somebody takes up a startup, predictive analysis in terms of what you had mentioned, predictive management in engineering. I think some of you mentioned that. So it's all about prediction. In your dashboard, can you please tell me, who said it, your girlfriend? Yeah. So, what would be my closing business tomorrow, or tomorrow, or next month? If it comes to that stage of smartness and information, status, then it'll be lot more easier for you to actually manage much larger functions. Thank you so much to all of you. And if there are any questions, one or two questions, I think there's a invite is waiting outside. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. Hey, good evening, gentlemen. My name is Ram. I'm the managing partner at PopPro. So I heard you all guys talking about AI and implementations, which is the need of the hour. But where I do come from here is in terms of your, say, all this daily checklist activities, which is all conducted, say, room remake processes. So how is this been diligently done at a hotel like Marriott or St. Mark's or a Holiday Inn? So is that all been done manually on Google Sheets? Someone audits that, or you have a kind of a tool?
Am I correct in understanding you said when you service a room, is there a checklist, a manual checklist that you maintain, or it is done
Digitally.
Yeah, I believe right now it's a manual thing, but you go and feed in a system which gives you analysis.
Okay.
So, every room has a kind of a DNA. So we get to know if there are certain recurring issues, then you address it.
Okay.
And every week we take out a report, and
Okay.
if some room has to be addressed in a certain manner, that is done. But yes, we are moving there. In fact, overseas, many hotels have robots now cleaning the room, robots cleaning the public areas. And I look forward to an intersection of robotics and probably AI. Right now, robots are following our instructions. They just follow step A, B, C, but they're not evolved or intelligent enough to interact with the guests.
Correct.
So there will be a time very soon. We have robots making omelets in kitchens, in restaurants, many areas.
Okay.
So we are going there, but not so fast. And as I said earlier, I think AI or automation has to be gradual. And it can proceed parallelly with the existing softwares and tools that we have. It is not sequential. They can work parallelly, and whenever the right time comes, they merge together.
See, on the backflip, right, so we are an 8-year-old organization helping manage SOP processes via SaaS applications. So that is where I was interested to talk to you guys, saying that what is the kind of synergies we can bring from a tech standpoint.
So I would like to add something. At Royal Orchid, Mr. Saravanan also spoke that at a hotel level, we're going to add 2% of our revenue into technology. We have partnered with a tech company called Auditly, ODITLY, and we are just doing a pilot at my hotel where all these checklists will be in a digital version. Right, so this is as recent as 3 days back. Just to
Okay.
answer your question.
So maybe I should talk to you then. You should give me an opportunity.
Certainly, absolutely.
Hi, this is Rohit Hangalia from Sphere Travel Media. My question is, I think 5 years hence, when technology gets democratized and entry barriers into AI is absolutely nothing. Probably a 3-star hotel or even a budget hotel can match the spends what a 5-star hotel today is doing on AI. How do you evaluate luxury as a product in 5 years hence when there's a democratization of technology? And do you think a receptionist handing over a bunch of keys to the guest will be luxury itself? And how can AI cater to a luxury-oriented customer?
That's a very good question, Rohit. Technology is a great leveler. Okay, I'll leave it to the general managers. Yeah.
Okay, my viewpoint is that another few years, not even 5 years, you make a booking and your professional profile is already mapped by AI tool from the LinkedIn. Your social profile from your Facebook, Twitter is already with you. And your dietary requirements, for example, you are lactose intolerant. So the system will not give you a dairy amenity as you check in. Your preference is already there. Database of probably 230 million members right now with Marriott Bonvoy. We would know what floor do you prefer. So automatically that particular floor is booked. What temperature of room, what kind of lighting of your room, what time you go to the gym. So everything is already there. That's the luxury would be very, very personalized. It is right now also, but I think at times you're dependent on humans. This will be all given by the system. And where we come in is the human touch. The key will be given by probably, the front office manager or the director of rooms, or in certain cases for our lead guest by the GM itself. So those touch points will still remain. But technology will help you so that you're accurate, you're glitch free, and you get a consistent experience every hotel that you go part of the chain.
That's gonna,
Efficiency, yeah.
I'm so sorry, sir, but that's going to be the last question.
Yeah.
This panel, our GMs, they have to go back to their work, I'm sure, sir.
Definitely. One last question. I just wanted to ask, in luxury dining, how important do you think experiential or multi-sensory dining really is today? If you knew it could elevate the guest experience and make it more memorable, would you consider it implementing in your space?
Implementing?
Implementing it in your space, like in your hotels actually.
Yeah, the augmented and virtual reality is definitely on, both in terms of food and beverage. You know, second thing I'll tell you very briefly that Bangalore is a very RFP and a GDS driven market. We fill in a lot of proposals, and my proposal and probably Mr. Hilton's proposal is at times similar. So how do you differentiate? Very soon you'll have salesperson in AI avatar giving you a show around of the entire hotel, the benefits that you have, the facilities that you offer, and that will be a game changer. Otherwise, you just go through many, many pages of PDF forms. This is the rate per the room, this is the rate for breakfast, this is the... So I think it's going to change very, very soon. I mean, 10 years ago, we could not even think that we could speak to each other while, you know, look at each other while speaking.
Exactly.
So things have evolved fast, and I think that's why hotels need to move very fast, because by the time we decide on something, implement something, the technology has already moved ahead. But this is on, for sure.
That's why I think, like, we'd love to connect with you. Actually showed you the demo also. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, so in conclusion, I just want to say, let us all be humans, you know. Be careful, be aware. Somebody, some big brother is listening, the robot, or some machine is listening to us. And in fact, AI is all designed to make them faster, more efficient, and surgical strikes. Thank God, and I hope we'll pray that they don't get the emotional quotient into them. Then we are over, right? So thank you so much, all of you. Manish, thank you for staying back. Over to you.
So I can see a lot of familiar faces. Some were here last year, some were here yesterday. So thank you all. It's an honor to have you with us. Just a short token of appreciation. May I please have Mr. Satish on stage? Yeah. Mr. Mohankumar, thank you for hosting the panel. You always, I am sure, if we would have given you more time, more interesting inputs would have come. So. Mr. Jaydev Datta, thank you. You were here with us last year as well. So inputs are already, just a year and there is always something new to learn. We'll also have a video of this session online on our YouTube in case anybody wants to see later. Ms. Kadambari, thank you ma'am for being here again. Mr. Menon, thank you, sir. And these are all top hotels for Bangalore, so I'm sure we have a very varied viewpoint of how the industry is doing. Mr. Datta, can you please come on stage? Ms. Rawat, please. Yeah. Mr. Dhana Balu, thank you, sir, for being here again. You were here with us last year as well. I mentioned you. Mr. Vivek Sharma, thank you. It was really great to see your honesty and input, sir. Thank you for being so raw and upfront. Mr. Manish, thank you, sir, for staying back. I could see you texting. I'm sure you have work. And last but not the least, Mr. Gaurav Shiva, who was here with us yesterday. Sincerely appreciate your time, sir. Thank you so much. Can I please have a round of applause? I know it's the end of the day, but that's a great panel that we had. And may I please request you all to come forward for just like a photo opportunity.
So Ritu, we're looking forward
Please,
to your
why don't you
session.
come forward? Yes. GMs, we also have a small token of appreciation from our team. Natuf, yes. Yeah. And there are some vouchers for the GMs from Champions Club. Mr. Ankit, would you like to say something?